A man named Colin, who had been in jail for hurting people, was sitting in a van on his way to court. The radio said he was the main suspect in the deaths of 5 women. When he reached the courthouse, he stood in front of the judge. Colin acted like he had changed and was now a better person. He begged for another chance and promised not to do bad things again. But a man named Dr. Ross didn't believe him. He said Colin was a dangerous man who especially hurt women. He even compared him to famous killers. Colin tried to argue, but the judge told him to sit down. Dr. Ross reminded everyone that the victims' families wanted Colin to stay in jail. In the end, the judge refused to let him go free and said he could try again in 5 years. On the way back to jail, Colin's nose started bleeding. The officer gave him a tissue, but Colin used that moment to attack. He choked the officer, took his gun, and told the driver to stop. He said he only wanted freedom, but when the driver put down his weapon, Colin killed both officers and ran away. Nearby, a woman named Terry was at home with her 2 kids while workers were fixing her house. Her friend Meg stopped by during her morning jog. After Meg left, Terry's husband, Jeffrey, came home. They had a small argument because Terry felt lonely. Jeffrey was always busy with work and was about to leave again for a trip with his father. She asked him to spend time with her, and he said yes, but didn't seem excited. Terry said she was going to the store and asked him to stay with the kids, but he refused, saying he was already late. She worried about the bad weather, but kissed him goodbye as he left. Somewhere else, Colin followed his ex-girlfriend, Alexis. He saw her on a date, then stole her car and followed her home. Alexis was scared when he suddenly appeared. He begged her for another chance, saying they could change their names, get married, and start a new life. Alexis pretended to agree because she was scared. But when her phone beeped, Colin found a note from her new boyfriend and got angry. She admitted she tried to wait for him, but he showed her a pile of letters he had sent that she never answered. She grabbed her phone and tried to run, but he stopped her, threw her phone, and chased her upstairs. When she shouted at him to leave, he snapped, grabbed her by the neck, slammed her to the ground, and hit her with a lamp. Later, Colin ran away in heavy rain. Dr. Ross' warning about him played in his mind, and he crashed his car into some trees. Back at Terry's house, she was cooking with her daughter Ryan when the doorbell rang. She thought it was her husband, but it was Colin. He asked to use her phone. She let him call for help and then went to check on her daughter. Colin noticed the door was open. When Terry came back, he asked if she could drive him to his car. She said her husband wasn't home, but would be back soon. She told him to wait for a tow truck at her place, and he agreed. As the storm got worse, she felt bad for him and let him inside. She saw a cut on his face and brought a first aid kit. Colin hid his gun as Ryan came out to see who was there. Terry sent her to get tissues and mentioned that her baby, Sam, was asleep in the nursery. Colin introduced himself as Terry cleaned his wound. She gave him a clean shirt. He asked about her husband, and she said they met in law school, and she once worked as a prosecutor. She told him most of her cases were about men hurting women, and that catching them was easy because they were usually careless. A loud thunder shook the house, making Terry's car alarm go off. She rushed outside to stop it, worried the noise would wake her baby. The sensor key didn't work, so Colin helped her. He checked the car manual and fixed it. They both went back inside, and Terry made him tea. Colin saw a picture of her husband on the fridge and asked about him. She asked Colin if he had someone special. He remembered his ex, Alexis, and said she betrayed him even though they were about to marry. Terry tried to comfort him, saying marriage wasn't everything. Colin noticed she didn't seem happy with her husband anymore. She admitted she still loved Jeffrey, but missed how exciting their love used to be. Colin starts saying nice things to Terry, telling her she's still strong and beautiful. Later, Terry puts her daughter Ryan to bed. Colin says he needs the bathroom. When Terry changes clothes, she gets scared. Colin suddenly appears behind her. He asks about her husband, and she admits he won't be coming home tonight. Colin's face changes, looking dark and cold. The doorbell rings. It's Meg. Terry tells her that Colin is just a stranger waiting for a tow truck. Meg jokes with Colin, calling him handsome, and offers wine for a girls' night. When Colin says the name of his street, Meg becomes curious because she knows everyone there, but Colin avoids her question. Suddenly, a tree branch crashes through the kitchen window. Colin quickly covers the hole, and after that, They all drink wine together. In the living room, Meg starts joking with Colin, saying exercise in the bedroom is better than the gym. Colin thinks Meg doesn't seem like someone who wants to get married, but she says she would if she met the right man. Meg and Terry talk about their past, while Colin starts to drift off, still haunted by the memory of Alexis' death. Meg hears that Colin recently broke up with someone and tries to learn more. When Terry leaves to calm her crying baby, Colin steps outside for a smoke, and Meg follows him. She asks if something is going on between him and Terry. Colin only smiles, making her think they are having an affair. Meg starts to doubt him and argues, saying Terry would never hide things from her. Colin lies, trying to make her question her friend. When Meg refuses to believe him and calls for Terry, Colin suddenly hits her with a shovel. He calmly goes back inside and tells Terry that Meg left. Terry feels something is wrong and looks for her phone to call Meg, but sees Meg's umbrella still near the door. Colin brings up her earlier lie about Jeffrey coming home, asking where he really is. Terry nervously says Meg left upset, but when she picks up the phone, it's dead. The wires have been cut. She also notices the kitchen knives are gone. The lights flicker. Terry searches for her children and sees Colin holding Ryan. She firmly tells him to put her down, but he ignores her. Trying to stay calm, she puts Ryan back in bed and throws back the necklace Colin gave her. Once they leave the room, Terry grabs a fire extinguisher and hits him, sending him down the stairs. She grabs her kids, but Colin quickly recovers. After putting baby Sam back in his crib, she turns around and sees Colin pointing a gun at her. He forces her to go to the bathroom, steps into the shower with her, and washes the foam from the extinguisher off his face. Then, he pushes her into the closet and tells her to change clothes. Tired of his games, Terry shouts at him. Colin mocks her, saying it's funny that a former lawyer like her couldn't see what he really was. Suddenly, Terry smashes a lamp over his head and runs. She locks herself in the office and calls the police, but Colin breaks in and cuts the phone line. Terry grabs a knife and cuts his side to escape. Colin chases her into the kitchen. She begs him to leave before the police come, hoping to stop more violence. But Colin orders her to get the kids so they can run away together. With no choice, Terry takes her kids through the garage while Colin follows. She is shocked to see Meg's dead body on the ground. They get in a car, with Terry driving and Colin giving directions. While driving, Terry sees police checking his crashed car, but Colin warns her to act normal. Soon, a police car comes up behind them. Terry flashes her lights, hoping for help while Colin's eyes are closed. When he notices, she drives normally, but the police turn around and follow with sirens on. Colin orders her to pull over and picks up baby Sam to keep control. A police officer comes to the window and asks about Colin's injuries. Colin lies, saying a tree branch caused it. Ryan asks about her dad, making the moment more tense. The officer becomes suspicious and asks Terry to step out. She says Colin is just someone she's seeing because her husband is away. The cop warns her not to involve her kids. But when she glances at the car nervously, the officer presses her more, asking if something is wrong. Colin, watching through the mirror, straps Sam back in and grips his gun. Terry tries to whisper for help, but Colin hears her. He gets out, shoots the officer, and drags the body away. Terry screams as he forces her to keep driving at gunpoint. Later, they stop at a house and go inside with the children. Terry puts her kids to bed and tells Ryan they're just having a sleepover. Colin tells her to get a first aid kit. When the lights turn on, Terry freezes. Alexis' dead body is on the floor. Thunder shakes the house, and the car alarm goes off again, so he steps out. Before leaving, he ties Terry up. As soon as he's gone, Alexis' phone starts ringing. Terry cuts the rope with something sharp and answers it. It's Jeffrey calling for Alexis. Shocked, Terry tells him Alexis is dead and begs him to call the police. Colin comes back and sees that Terry is gone. He notices a rope made of blankets hanging from the window and runs outside to look for her. Terry uses the chance to grab her kids and head for the door, but she sees Colin coming back. She quickly hides her kids in a closet and grabs a knife. Colin slowly walks through the house, heading toward the closet where the children are. Terry makes a noise upstairs to distract him and hides in the shadows. When he comes close, she jumps out and stabs him. He screams in pain, but she falls to the ground. Colin points his gun at her while she tries to warn him that Jeffrey is coming. She tells him she knows why he's doing this, because he found out Jeffrey and Alexis were having an affair and lost control. Ryan shows up, distracting him. Terry kicks him, grabs the keys, and stabs his side again and again. They fight hard. She hits him, thinking he's down, but he grabs her legs and slams her to the floor. As he comes closer, she grabs the gun and fires several times, pushing him out the window. Sirens fill the night as the police arrive. Jeffrey rushes in, saying sorry to Terry and claiming his affair with Alexis didn't mean anything. But Terry is done with him. She punches him in the face. Sometime later, Terry and her kids move into a new house, leaving the nightmare behind. She looks at a photo of herself with Meg and smiles softly, remembering her friend.
Don't forget to like this video and subscribe to our channel. Thanks for watching.